come on, man. And with the local DBC news, LL Cool J with a triumphant comeback.
Morris Saloon. But tonight,
Don't call it a comeback.
Hello and welcome to episode 56 of Wax and Lyrical Mainz and Dutts. I'm Mainz, and my colleague to my right, in the same room, at the same time, Mr. Neil Dutton.
Hello there. No Skype this week.
No Skype this week, and not only no Skype this week, we're actually in a new location, which is my new house in Walton.
Is it the fifth studio we've had?
Fifth studio we've had, if we don't count all the different hotels that I have been in over the past.
That makes an episode by itself.
Yeah. So on today's episode, a question from the audience is answered. We look at the top 10s of 2013, and then we let Dutton rant for the final 10 minutes of the show.
Very therapeutic.
Well, as it always is. We like to hear you rant, Dutton. And as you didn't do it yesterday when I texted you, I thought we'd do it now.
There's a lot of disappointed people.
There was, and hopefully we will quell those disappointments later on in the show.
I'll just find something else to be disappointed about.
That's true.
I don't run out of reasons.
So let's get on with the start of the show. So Dutton, friend of ours, Mr. Tony Esposti, I was talking to him this week, or last week actually it was, and he wanted to understand the concept of sayings that made no sense and what we thought of them.
It made no sense to him.
No, most things make no sense to him because he's, a Welsh Italian Englishman. You try and work that one out, that'll mess you up. Like, what nationality do you play rugby for? The one that usually wins, I guess. New Zealand.
Yep.
So Tony gave us some sayings, and we came up with some sayings of our own. And what we wanted to do was look at them and try and discern what they actually meant.
Okay.
So let's talk about the first one, which was basically how Tony got onto this. And it's the concept of a wool or wool behaviour. Do you want to explain?
Well, a wool is anyone who's not born in Liverpool.
So this is a Scousism, which no one else will understand. But basically, there is the Republic of Liverpool and wolves.
Yeah.
Everybody else is a wool.
Yeah.
That is basically how it works.
Yeah. Basically, if you are not from the within the city walls, as it were, of the citadel, and any type of behaviour you indulge in or take part in that runs primarily to how a person from Liverpool would react, you're engaging in wool behaviour.
So, for example, Dutton's missus is a wool.
Yeah.
When she does things that we find funny, it is wool behaviour.
Yeah. When she watches a Welsh soap opera with English subtitles,
that's wool behaviour.
It's wool behaviour. Shocking wool behaviour.
So this is something that's new to my girlfriend Kate. We just picked the same name, everyone. It's just easier for everyone concerned.
Yeah, not the same girl.
Not the same girl.
That'll be weird.
Although they do both have strange accents.
Yeah.
Coincidence. Is that trying to grasp to it that we are our own entity and we live by our own rules and everybody outside is wrong is a new thing to her, and she's not fully on board at the moment.
Well, the Open University must do a course. There must be helpful websites you can go on.
There is, Scouse Not English probably being one of them.
Scouse Not English. There are numerous feeds on Twitter which you can follow.
The Scouse Twitter ones are class, especially the Scouse female ones, which add their own level of angriness into.
Exactly, and it's Scouse is probably one of the only accents as well that should be written in full capitals.
Yeah, I agree. Because we talk in full capitals, so it should be written in full capitals.
Tweet as you talk.
Exactly. The next one, Dutton. I like what I like. You know that. What does that even mean?
It sounds like some kind of derivation of the, I know what I like and I like what I know.
But I don't know that, and I like what I like. But so you've never tried anything new ever in your entire life.
This does sound like a personal attack.
It's not a personal attack.
We all know how well I deal with change.
Well, you deal awfully with change in general. But this is not on the front of you, although it could be. You've never actually said to me, I like what I like.
No, I've just said I don't like change.
You don't like change, the difference.
That's a coverall term that encompasses everything that is
Exactly.
different from today to tomorrow.
Onto a classic, what can only be described as motherism. You don't know you're born.
Mm-hmm.
I do know I'm born because I'm alive. You're not Descartes. Don't try and philosophise whether I'm alive or not. I do know I was born because I'm here now.
Yeah, I know I'm born because it's me who swanned into the house at 2 o'clock in the morning, absolutely plastered, woken up everyone, then got up in the morning and demanded a sandwich. I know it's me. I sense it.
I know I was born. I did leave those tissues in the pockets of my pants. I did let you wash them. It did it did put tissue all over everybody else's clothes. I did let you then clean it up. I then did go to a hotel and get breakfast.
Yeah, I knew it happened.
I knew it happened. I did know I was born.
Yeah, I knew I was doing it.
By the way, I love you. I am sorry.
My mum doesn't listen to podcasts, so yeah.
Done. It's much of a muchness.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Close enough.
Yeah, I don't.
It's one. It's bollocks. It's just say it's like that.
And that's the way it is.
Exactly. And then we'll have a little street dance fight.
Is much of a muchness the prerequisite to meh as a concept?
I think so. I think if you write much of a muchness, if you start to, it's one of those in the Twitter world, of course, where we can only speak in 140 characters. That much of a muchness can easily be subsumed into just meh. But obviously, it has to be meh, because if you drag it up too long, you sound like a bad guy from like 30s gangster film. Meh. You don't want to do that
While shooting someone with a Tommy gun,
saying you'll never take me alive, copper. Meh. It's a dangerous territory.
it's raining cats and dogs. I bloody hope not, because isn't that the apocalypse?
I think it probably is. And if it were to rain cats and dogs, I would pay good money to be standing near Gary Melia.
Our friend Gary Melia, who is
Dr. Doolittle.
is the anti-Dr. Doolittle of the world. I think as his wedding is coming up in a few short months, we should all club together and buy him a cat and a dog.
Yeah, buy him a cat, a gerbil, any type of furry animal
that he will immediately have an allergic reaction to.
Yeah, and then
come out in hives.
We can throw his inhaler in a swimming pool. Sounds harsh. I didn't do it. It was done to him by Mick Cale.
I wasn't there, although I actually was. Because I've heard the story that many times. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Yes, I can. It's in the fridge.
Yeah, I'll have several slices. I'll just make one cut, and it's 2 slices.
I bought the strawberry cheesecake, so I can have your cake, and I can eat it too. Watch, here's a knife, here's a fork.
It's a
knife? I don't know. Here's a spoon.
It's on a plate.
It's on a plate.
It's my face.
Yeah,
they will unite.
They're coming together.
Together of face and cake. I've been accused on occasions of eating like a pig. To quote, I think it was Lenny from The Simpsons, no, I eat more like a duck. And that pigs tend to chew.
Yeah, no one needs to see duck meat ever. I have done it far too many times, and it's not something I'm proud of.
Especially cream cakes, I have an uncanny ability to get cream in places where the cake never was, like the back of my head, down the back of my trousers.
Me and you should have a contest on who can spill the most stuff while eating, because we are both absolutely pathetic.
Anything flaky or crusty is going to go basically when I've eaten apparently there used to be a sandwich called the banjo roll, so said because it was that crumbly when you stood up. You can't see me, but I'm basically brushing down.
Playing a banjo.
I'm strumming on a banjo. I do that with every meal. It's bread, cakes, soup. The soup occasionally can hurt, especially if it's hot going down, but I'm just a banjo self-cleaner. That sounds obscene.
That does sound obscene. I'm going to just swiftly move on. I don't like flakes, the chocolate.
I don't like the taste, but I certainly don't like the fact that
I can't wear it, because I'll sit up and it looks like I've,
pooed myself. Yeah. But it's not nice chocolate anyway.
Well, it's not.
And to all the women out there, why would you eat a chocolate bar in a bath that is still running? Never made sense, that advert. The only thing that makes that advert less crap is that electric cigarette one. But I'm not stopping on that one now.
No, that's not. So this is a final one. This is Tony's one. This is a Welsh one. I joined Xperia 4 years ago and was had the privilege of working for a major energy company based in Staines, where I met Tony and other Welsh people. Where you to now then? Was once said to me, or abbreviated to, where you to?
Okay, that's...
My response was, speak English,
Yeah.
you're in England.
Yeah.
My understanding is this is, where are you, or what are you up to? Tony tried to defend it by saying, in Welsh, the verbs and nouns and whatever are the wrong way round.
So
So
it wasn't said in Welsh.
exactly, and this is my point. Where you to? Question mark.
Were you too? No, I wasn't. I was 33.
Just like, what does this even mean? It made no sense to me.
No, I'm sorry. That is gobbledygook.
See, because I knew you wouldn't have heard this.
No,
this
I've not heard that.
This is a Welshism. There's more. I won't list them all now because I told Tony that wouldn't become a 15-minute abuse, Tony. There's just the where you to now then.
I mean, we do, of course, where you off to.
Yeah, but
Where are you? Whereabouts are you off to as well? I suppose. Well, I can tell you exactly where I'm off to. It's not. I can't give you the exact GPS coordinates, but I can tell you where I'm going to be.
Exactly. I mean, let's be fair. There's lots of sayings that make no sense.
Yeah.
And we've told you a few. If you've got some more, tweet us at waxing_lyrical or drop us an email at waxinglyricalpod@gmail.com.
I mean, for example, you won't want that second slice is meaningless and nonsense to anyone I know.
Yeah, well, everyone
I know, because
we will have the second slice.
Associate with fat bastards.
And I'm honoured to say I'm one of them.
I've worked hard.
Let's move on. So we thought, as it was February and we'd been off, we should review what happened in 2013 from a popular culture point of view. Why I'm doing this is because it's funny, because Dutton hasn't seen popular culture since 1985. Later on in the show, I'm going to call Tony and get his views on films he saw this year and probably bait him again on
Where you two now?
Star Trek Into Darkness.
With its Star Wars Easter eggs.
Dutton seeing Easter eggs. But what we're going to do first is we're going to go through the top 10 films of 2013 and then the top biggest selling singles of 2013.
See, we did this last year, if you remember, with Samsey, and I fared quite well in the sense that I hadn't seen a lot of them, but I at least knew what they were about, and I knew what most of the music was about. This isn't going to go well. I'm not going to look like I'm not going to look, down with the kids.
This ain't going to make you hip and happening.
No.
Let's just put it like that. I love you, man, but you're going to suck at this.
I won't be clapping like a broom without a roof here.
I love that song, Don't Start.
Doesn't sound very happy, though, does it?
24-hour video, but...
Did you know Pharrell, by the way, was Latin for "We will overplay the crap out of every single song you do"?
I think there's a high possibility we're going to get to Pharrell later in this list. So first of all, let's get to the top 10 grossing movies. At 10, Dutton, we're trying to see, have we watched it? A, and B,
can I blind answer no?
Do we even know what it's about?
Okay.
10, Oz.
No.
The Great and the Powerful.
Not seen it.
Do you even know what it's about?
Is it a return to Oz many years later, or is it... What's my phone? I'll put it on silent.
Well, then, divvy. It's a prequel of how the Wizard of Oz got to Oz.
So it's a prequel of Oz?
That is my understanding. I also haven't seen it. So let's move on.
Okay.
At 9, Fast and Furious 6.
No, haven't seen any of them.
I was going to say, you haven't even seen any of the other 5, have you?
No, and now that someone's dead, I'm not going to see any more of them.
Paul Walker's dead.
Yeah.
Not someone. Probably the major character. Well, Vin Diesel will probably argue that. I also haven't seen it. I have, however, seen Fast and Furious 1 because it was on at the pictures when we were there. Number 8, The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug.
Was that the second one?
This is Hobbit 2, yeah.
Well, I haven't seen it yet.
No,
because the person I was supposed to see it with was somewhere down south.
I prefer East because it's me. I also haven't seen it, although I have got it. The question I'm going to ask now, though, are we sure this should be 3 films?
No, it shouldn't be.
Couldn't we have done this in the first one?
If you look at the combined size of The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, The Two Towers, and The Return of the King, and you put them all together, the book is huge. I didn't think they could do that book justice, those 3 books justice, in 10 hours of films. The Hobbit looks like an information pamphlet that you get from the chemist. I could have knocked out The Hobbit in... Well, that sounds obscene as well. I could have done The Hobbit films in an hour and a half. And I certainly didn't need to add characters who weren't in The Hobbit, but I'll cash in them because they were in Lord of the Rings. Yes, I'm looking at you, Saruman. I am looking at you, Legolas. Tolkien isn't happy right now, Peter.
Oh, don't worry though. Tolkien's probably even less happy. Has Peter Jackson invented a woman just to make it better? That there's now women in the thing.
Exactly. And the Great White Orc? No. No.
I think we'll save that Hobbit-related rant for another time. At 7, Gravity.
No, not seen it, and I presume it's just further evidence of the fact that there is no form of public transport that is safe to be on with Sandra Bullock.
I have seen it. It is further credit to the fact that if you see Sandra Bullock about to get into a bus, a car, a cruise ship, a spaceship, you turn and head in the other direction and wait for the next one, if there is a next spaceship, that is. At 6, I have seen Gravity, by the way, and it's excellent. Especially in 3D. I've put my hands over my eyes, I don't know why.
Never seen a film in 3D in my life, I get headaches.
Oh God. Green tent. At 6, Monsters University.
No, although it is on the list, I do want to say because I love Monsters Inc. It was a bit hard to justify going to see a kids' film when I didn't have an appropriately aged junior by myself. You know, I am CRB'd. But I didn't want to be that guy.
we know, we've met that guy in the pictures. Do you want a hot dog done?
No.
When you take your...
Not with a Big Mac on.
When you Big Mac on?
No.
Okay. That is actually a true story. If you want to find out more, let us know. I have 2 boys, therefore I've seen it. Man of Steel.
No.
I have seen it. There's fatal flaws with the film. I won't get into it with you because you haven't seen the film.
Yeah, it was an S.
Not that. That's not even the issue. 4. Frozen.
Again.
See, my previous comment about boys, it's actually brilliant. It's Disney at its absolute peak.
As I saw, looked good. You know, the snowman's head going in. Hello, you're creepy. I appreciate the speed.
No, it's good. At 3, Despicable Me 2.
No, because I've only seen Despicable Me once, so I need to see it a few more times to appreciate it. But it's on the list.
I again see previous comments, 2 boys. I have seen it, and it is amazing.
It does bother me though that one of the children in Despicable Me looks like Sue Perkins. The one with glasses.
I know which one you mean.
Yeah, it's just I never saw Dara O'Brien and Sue Perkins coming together to make this collaboration.
At 2, Iron Man 3.
I have it on DVD. I was bought it for Christmas. I haven't got around to watching it yet.
I'm a geek, of course. I've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
And my house is littered with Iron Man related toys.
It does keep up my fantastic run of having not seen a single Avengers film at the pictures, except the Hulk. But as that was the first one, it technically wasn't an Avengers one.
No.
And get
the Banner one. The Banner with
no.
You said Edward Norton.
I saw the Edward Norton one with the teaser at the end where Tony Stark meets General Ross in the bar and says, we'd like to catch him.
And at 1, Hunger Games Catching Fire.
No.
It's got Jennifer Robinson. I have therefore seen it. She is okay.
Yeah. Bothered.
We're going to fight now. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to call Tony up and get his views. As this is live, Dutton's going to disappear and then come back later.
Of course.
I have not pre-recorded this section with Tony in any way, shape or form. So we'll see you in a minute. And now joining me, all the way from another country, Mr. Tony Esposti. Tony, how are we?
I'm wonderful. I've just finished work, so I'm just walking home.
Fantastic. Don't get attacked by any crazy ropey people.
There's none. They've all left to go to Ireland, mate.
Of course they have. Of course they have. So let's quickly do this. What I'd like to do is you sent me a list of your favourite movies, and I just want to quickly go through them with you. Got 10 minutes, so let's do this. Let's do the good first, because the bad are funnier. Your favourites, your fifth favourite film of the year, The East.
Oh, this was a really underrated indie movie. It was about a security analyst who had to infiltrate a social terrorist group.
Nice.
I watched it on a whim. It was brilliant. Loved it. One of my standout stars last year. Really, really good.
Excellent.
Really slipped under the radar though.
At 4, Gravity.
Well, it's just visually stunning. Absolutely perfect. And for Sandra Bullock to keep be on the screen on her own for most of the film and still put in that sort of performance, it was brilliant.
Oh yeah, I'll give you that. I also watched that. 9, everybody's favourite hero, Tom Hanks, in Captain Phillips.
This is more from the Somali pirates' point of view. I thought they were brilliant. The way that I used brilliant too much, I think. The way they put the extra cast together, it was more the surrounding characters that brought that film for me, rather than the Tom Hanks aspect of it. I know you're not a fan of Tom Hanks.
I'm not a fan, but I can see people are. Do we know anyone who was sick while watching that film?
Yes.
We do know. Nikki was sick while
my
watching
friend
the film.
Nicola basically sat with her eyes shut for the whole film. Pretty much the whole way, yeah.
Amazing. At 2, Prisoners. Hugh Jackman without the knives.
Now, you know my feelings on Hugh Jackman. So a film this high with Hugh Jackman in it must be a brilliant film. It's emotionally harrowing. It keeps you gripped all the way through. Watch it, but be prepared to be drained by the end of it.
Okay. And the number 1 film in the Esposti, Wolf of Wall Street.
I'm hoping you've already talked about the Wolf of Wall Street, because it's just a masterclass from DiCaprio. The scene of him coming out of the country club alone should win him an Oscar.
I'm going to say that neither of me and Dalton have
Hill.
seen it yet, so we won't have talked about it.
Okay. Jonah Hill eating a goldfish, and he's actually putting a live goldfish in his mouth. It's that's commitment. He took on. He did that film. Jonah Hill did that film for $60,000 because he wanted to work with Scorsese so much. It's a testament to everything. The script is brilliant, and the rest of it is amazing around it. I've seen it twice so far.
And I'm okay that it's 3 hours long.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like 3 hours. So I've seen American Hustle and The Hobbit recently, and they're both 2 hours, 2.5.
Yeah.
And they dragged. There's large portions of those films that could be dropped.
Okay.
But Wolf of Wall Street just feels like an hour and 40 film, whereas The Hobbit and American Hustle drag.
Okay.
Feels filler.
Okay, so let's get on to the worst films then.
Okay.
5th worst, White House Down.
Yeah. There's another film that's out that's similar to it as well, with the guy from 300. Can never remember his name.
Gerard Butler.
The one. Yeah, it's basically the same film as that. To be honest, I don't think I put Gerard Butler's film on there. I saw that as well. But it is essentially the same movie.
But you don't have to put it on twice. 4th worst,
Well, yeah.
Pain and Gain.
This was funny, but it just felt a little bit weird. The Rock and Wahlberg are good at it, but yeah, it's just
It's not right.
do it, but turn your brain off.
Okay. Speaking of brains off, next, R.I.P.D.
Ah, yes. This film scored lowly because of Kevin Bacon. He's not in the trailer, so the moment he came on screen, I might have had a little bit of a tantrum in the cinema. I'm not a fan of Kevin Bacon at the moment. Those EE adverts are persuading me never to go and buy anything from that company. He's a stain on this country's TV and cinema.
Okay, but tell us what you real feel. Second worst film, Spring Breakers.
Spring Breakers, Vanessa Hudgens and the girl who was boffing Bieber. I can't remember her name, and to be honest, I don't think I should if she's ever boffed Bieber. It's just...
Selena Gomez.
Yeah, that's one, Selena Gomez. It's just boobs and drugs and a very, very weird performance by the son of the Green Goblin.
Awesome.
It's not good, but yeah, it's weird. If you want to watch boobs, just watch it, but other than that, don't.
So finally, number one worst film of 2013, Star Trek Into the Darkness.
So I think my feelings on this movie are quite well known among your fans. I think there's a rant on episode 33 that won me an award.
It did.
Yeah.
Do you want to briefly tell people why you hate it?
There's no chemistry between Pine and Quinto. There's lens flares that are so distracting that there's no point in having a plot. Starships can't go underwater. Why teleport a communications officer down into a fight between a Klingon and a superhuman? What else we got? Then you've got the fact that they're focusing too much on the human side of Spock. There's the obligatory Khan moment, which is wrong. And JJ, if you're gonna just remake Wrath of Khan, either remake it or don't lie to us that you're gonna put Khan in it. Don't tell us that it's someone called Jonathan Harrington or Harrison until we get in the cinema. We don't want that. Don't lie to us, you fool. I hope he ruins Star Wars.
There's a high possibility he will, but I can't wait to see Dutton's face when Mickey Mouse attacks Yoda with a lightsaber. It's going to be amazing.
I was going to say the same thing. Mickey Mouse versus Yoda with lightsabers.
It's going to be amazing. I can't wait. I literally can't wait.
Not that you'll be able to see any of it, because there'll just be huge lens flares across the screen.
There will be the odd lens flare, that is true. Are you actually outside in Cardiff City Centre right now?
Yeah, I am, yeah.
Wow, amazing.
I'm just walking past the castle.
I'd like to stay for the record. It's 8 o'clock and Tony's still in work. What a fail.
Yeah.
Mr. Esposti, as always, it's been a pleasure. And we'll speak to you soon.
Yes, good. Hopefully I'll be able to speak to you a bit more soon when work calms down.
Okay, mate. See you later.
All right, catch you later.
Let's move on.
I was politely mute.
You were politely mute, which makes a refreshing change. Now my favourite game. Top 10 biggest selling singles of the year. See if Dutton's heard of any of them.
Can I just, for the record and to add some credence to this, I haven't bought a CD, downloaded a song let me think, what was the last one? Oh God, I can't think. I was bought, I tell like, not last Christmas, because before I was bought the War of the World's new upbeat version. Not technically music, and it's, music against the word.
Sure that counts,
yeah.
But I know.
So I honestly can't remember the last time I bought a CD or anything.
I like it. Okay, here we go. At 10, J2, Mirrors.
So Timberlake.
That's Timberlake, yeah.
Heard of it, couldn't tell you how it went.
Okay. I have heard of it. I'm going to see him this year. Okay. At 9, One Republic, Counting Stars.
No.
Have you not heard the song? It's on More Than Thrill.
I don't listen to the radio.
Well, okay. At 8, Just Give Me a Reason, Pink.
No.
This is amazing. Right. This one, you've got to have it. 7, Thrift Shop, Macklemore.
No.
Oh my God.
I don't know who Macklemore is.
Oh my God. He's the guy, the Seattle Seahawks just won the Super Bowl. He was the guy who was... No, okay. At 6, Katy Perry with Raw.
Yeah.
You've heard that?
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got one song.
Don't like it.
Well, that doesn't... We don't...
Clever video. Don't like it.
Okay, it's not a clever video. It's just Katy Perry and a
Is that not the one
bikini.
with text messages?
That was the first one, yeah. Okay. At 5, no way you've heard this. La La La, Naughty Boy featuring Sam Smith.
I have heard that. I wish that song, its writers, its composers, everyone involved in making the song and the video, a slow, painful death.
This is why we love Dutton talking about popular culture. At 4, Let Her Go, Passenger.
No.
See, this is a song you would actually like because it's melancholy.
Oh, actually, yeah, I have. Sorry, I didn't. Yeah, I thought it was Jake Bugg.
Yeah,
First
it's
time I
not
heard
Jake
it.
Bugg.
No, it's a fellow who, when you look at him, shouldn't sing like that.
No, he shouldn't.
He looks a bit like a deranged Nick Stahl and should be angry, but he's a little bit weedy.
He's not angry. He's just got a weed.
What? Yes, no, I'm familiar with that. Yes.
Okay. At 3, Wake Me Up, Avicii.
Hey, brother. Is that them, or is that's not that song?
I think it's that one, is it? Yeah, I think
it's
so.
the one, the electronic cigarette advert.
The electronic cigarette.
Yeah, stupidest advert of all time. Hate it. Annoying tune. Horribly catchy. Yeah, I do know it.
See, Avicii's gone down the Cotton Eye Joe angle of country dance.
Country dance. Unfortunately, Cotton Eye Joe didn't go down. We will apply this to the most ludicrous advertising concept of all time.
To be fair to Avicii, I don't think he made the song for the advert.
He signed the contract. He knew what he was getting into. He knew that it was going to be attached to lads who've been friends forever, but the one present after all these years of friendship is you buy your mate an electric cigarette. Friends don't let friends smoke. Looks like friends have.
For 20 years. And now let's get on to the Pharrell Williams part of the show. At 2, Get Lucky, Daft Punk featuring Pharrell Williams.
Overplayed.
You think? At 1, proving that the Daft Punk one isn't overplayed, Blair Lines, Robin Thicke featuring Pharrell Williams.
Used to say that Robin Thicke looked like a borderline rapist. I now withdraw the term borderline.
Allegedly. I'm going to put allegedly in case Robin Thicke listens and sues us.
I hope he does.
That would
I'll
be...
see him in court.
That'd be
Believe
amazing.
me, I'll have witnesses.
Yeah, okay. So what we've done there is prove that Dutton doesn't listen to any songs ever. And he
Like the 1980s.
and likes the 1980s. So you need to get a DAB digital radio and get like Absolute Radio 80s and just play it on. You and Craig.
Absolute Radio 80s and of course Absolute Radio 90s because our good friend Mr. Will Gavin does do the NFL on that every Sunday.
He does, yeah. He does. So let's, after doing some popular culture and winding Dutton up a little bit, let's get on to the enjoyable part of the show. So, girls, let's just be brutally honest, switch off.
Go away.
This is not for you. Kate, Mum, women of the world, you don't need this.
No, I won't bore you, but I may offend.
So, I text Dutton on Monday to talk about the cricket. He refused to talk about it. I baited him again on Tuesday. He refused to be baited. I baited him yesterday again for the 3rd time. He partially responded.
Yes, I showed the ability to let the ball pass outside my off stump when it's not threatening me.
Yeah, so what we're going to do is, because, the ECB won't talk about cricket at the moment,
I'll do it for them.
Dutton's going to do it for him. So we're going to review how the Ashes went. I think we played 15 games and lost 14. What went wrong, Dutton? What went wrong?
Well, the most obvious thing is that we totally underestimated the ability of the Australian team. We thought we've done these 3-0 and it should have been 5. If you actually watched the test matches, when Australia were on top, they kept us down. It was just that when they were off the game, they were spectacularly off them. And you could argue they should have won at Old Trafford, but we should have won at the Oval, but for the bad light. But even so, that game, they dangled the carrot and let us chase it. So straight away we went into it with, I think, I'm not going to say overconfidence or arrogance. I just think that a viewing public expected a result that wasn't going to happen. I.e., we were going to go and win 5-0. The worst thing for me, and I've spoken about this, was the total disregard of the we believe Joe and Alistair Cook is our opening partnership for the next 10 years, so that's what we're going to do. For that to fall out, that to go out the game plan after one warm-up game, smacked of a team that didn't know what the hell it was doing.
And they continued to not know what they were doing throughout the rest of the series.
Yes. Obviously, I think it hasn't been spoken of how important to the rest of the team's mental well-being was the presence of Jonathan Trott.
Yeah.
We're having a bad time, but sorry, we've got Trotty.
It's that kind of idea, I don't want to dwell on this too long, that people need to look at the previous 18 months, even though we'd won. We hadn't scored as many runs anywhere remotely near as much as we needed to.
No.
And we'd won games by bowling sides out and just about doing enough with the bat, but not looking as comfortable as we should have.
Yeah.
The issue always becomes then, what happens when your bowlers stop taking wickets? And we found out exactly what happens when your bowlers stop taking wickets in Australia as we got smacked.
I mean, the 2 years leading up to the beginning of 2010 to the end of 2011, those 2 full calendar years, England's batsmen scored at a prodigious high rate of runs, and by that I mean they weren't getting 102 and getting out, they were getting 200, they were getting 180s, they were getting daddy hundreds, and they were doing this usually in one innings. So they were saying that we're gonna get what we're gonna get in one innings, you won't get in 2.
Yeah.
So we'll give our bowlers plenty of runs to play with, they can take the wickets. All of a sudden, from 2012, the daddy hundreds dried up.
But the normal hundreds basically dried up with the exception of Ian Bell.
Yeah, well, but even then, his highest score was 109.
Oh no, I know, but what I mean is he was the only one who was
He was the only one, yeah.
100.
I mean, Joe Root in the second Ashes Test got 180.
Sorry, yeah.
But no one was going on, and there was the lessening of people who'd previously had a good conversion rate of hundreds to big hundreds. It went down. So generally, the 2010 to 2011 was a massive collective overachievement of batsmen. It wasn't a peaking. It was players playing out of their skin and the rest of the world not being up to much. The opposition they played in favourable conditions. What then happened is we then started playing teams in conditions that suited them.
Yeah.
And with teams that they suited. So there it was, like I say, England batsmen aren't making enough in one innings, so all of a sudden the bowlers are having to check their game slightly.
Okay, so let's quickly go through this then, Dylan.
Mm-hmm.
Do we still have a captain?
Yes.
It's going to be Alistair Cook, and no one's concerned by that.
The only concern I would have is, I think the ECB don't see how much of a boost to the team, the supporters, the whole country, if Alistair Cook was to come out and say, I want my team, and my team does not include Kevin Peterson. So, I think, as from a position of strength, rather than, as the shadowy league figures, saying, oh, it was amicably reached and we'll do this, and basically what that means is we'll have to wait till October when Peterson obviously comes out with a book that he won't have written, and basically throws everyone under a bus.
So I suppose the question becomes then, we lost, 5-0?
5-0, 4-1, 3-0, yeah.
KP didn't play in the one days or the
T20s,
but is everyone going to somehow say that we lost 5-0 because Kevin Peterson was playing?
No, but it's one of those. Kevin Peterson is box office. He's England's best batsman. Sorry, he is the batsman who plays for England, who is the best batsman. It's an important distinction that should always be made. He works for the England cricket team. He doesn't play for his country. No. Kevin Peterson, over his last 23 tests, averages 33. Is that a match winner?
No, it's not. But what? So I understand the concept. Then, if you say, I'm going to drop Kevin Peterson because he's not any good. No, but they're not saying that they're dropping Kevin Peterson because they've made no one is mentioned in any article. Oh, by the way, Kevin Peterson averages 33 in the last 20.
He's playing stupid shots, getting out when he shouldn't, and it's put too much pressure on.
But no one said that. I'd have no problem if someone said that. I'd say, okay, fair enough. I understand the concept. Is someone else going to average 33? But that's a different matter. The question...
Kevin Peterson is not going to be part of the England team in the future because, we have to use this shadowy phrase, the powers that be don't want to deal with Kevin Peterson off the pitch.
Okay, well that's fine.
Because you don't have to love your teammates. Shut up.
No, it's that kind of. If this is a football against cricket conversation, because in football, Teddy Sheringham and Andy Cole scored 40 goals together and they never spoke. They didn't even high-five each other when they scored. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. They hated each other that much. Made no difference. In cricket, it's
5 days.
Perceived to be a completely different animal. Yeah. So that's a different way.
Imagine, I mean, 5 days on the field with someone. It's one of those. If you're doing well, you tolerate his faults. If you're struggling, you tolerate his faults. If you're with someone who you know is talented, but you cannot, you don't care how many runs he'll score, you just don't want to see him ever again. Yeah. Team relationships have deteriorated.
Oh no, I mean, you know, I'm not going to disagree on that, Don.
However, you know, when it comes to, you know, you judge a man by the company he keeps and the friends he has in times of adversity. Well, I'd rather have Matt Pryor and that type behind me than Piers Morgan, and also very close to being unfollowed Michael Vaughan, because they're just arse lickers.
Well, we'll see. I know your sister unfollowed them. So I suppose the two questions I've got quickly before we go. Who's going to be the next coach?
This is a difficult one because there's no outstanding candidate. There was, for my money, in 2009 after Moores, because Andy Flower was a bloody good coach. So there was an obvious in-house candidate. The problem we have now is the best coach in world cricket is arguably Gary Kirsten, who doesn't want the job because he didn't want the South Africa job because he didn't want to be too far away from home. Home was South Africa. Yeah. Ironically, England looking at South African people to go and improve the game. We don't talk. Test cricket doesn't start again until June for England. So the pajama cricket, which at the moment Ashley Giles is doing his chances of the England job irreparable harm. Yeah,
shockingly bad harm by picking. Well, if he's helping pick that team, he shouldn't be.
Must we forget what type of cricketer Ashley Giles was? Combative, yes. Enthusiastic, yes. Hard-working, yes. Flashy,
talented.
I'll bowl up leg stump all day around the wicket. I'll bore you out.
So at the moment we haven't got a coach. I suppose the question I've got then is, I'm looking at the team. Who did this year, 86 months, who helped their cause going forward?
For my opinion, there's 3 names that should be the first on the team sheet for now. And that's looking short term, medium term, and long term. Alistair Cook is, if he put this way, if we're looking for a new captain in 6 months' time, this has been an absolute disaster. It could be a cleansing wash. So he needs to be on. Stuart Broad was excellent with the ball in Australia. Yeah. And the only one who really, for me, stood up in an extended opportunity was Ben Stokes.
Ben Stokes, fellow Ginge. Yeah. Fellow Ginge.
There was chances to be had to establish, like Graham Swan has gone, so who's the next best spinner? Well, unfortunately, Monty Panesar, as I've said in the past, is not the best spinner by himself. Yeah, because he hasn't got the bigger brother at the other end. Mm-hmm. Scott Borthwick, thrown to the lines, didn't look like taking a leg spinner's wicket, should we say, i.e. strode forward and caused it slip. Yeah. Those 3 for me.
So basically we need to find 8 players. Yes. That's fine. Okay. That has been Dutton's rant for the day.
No swear words.
No swear words. Well,
arse licker.
Arse licker doesn't really count. We're going to go now. Dutton's going to go to a comedy show and I'm going to go to bed. This has been episode 56 of Waxing Lyrical with Mainz and Dutts. Thanks for downloading.